Hello guys, today we're going to do Hardest Mavericks. Before I get into that, let me set a few ground rules. 1. I'm only fighting the Mavericks with X, which means Zero and Axel won't be featured in this list. 2. I'll be fighting the Mavericks with the X Buster only, which means I won't be using their weaknesses. I also won't be using sub-tanks during the boss fights, however I can use X's armor and heart tanks. 3. I'll be using the Guns N' Roses names for the Mega Man X5 Mavericks. Lastly, every game will be featured at least once on this list. If I didn't do that, then most of the Mavericks on this list will be from Mega Man X3. With that said, equip your busters because we got some Mavericks to destroy. Mega Man X2's Mavericks are easy and fun. Most of them have simple patterns of attacks that are pretty easy to avoid. However, Magnet Centipede will definitely give you a run for your money. Magnet Centipede will teleport around the room and throw 3 ninja stars at you, which is kinda hard to dodge. By the way, sometimes he'll appear underneath the ceiling, which is really annoying because it makes it really hard to hit him. He'll also split his tail into 4 parts that circle around you and then close in on you, which is hard to dodge. They also block your shots, which is really annoying. Lastly, he'll pull you towards him with his tail, and if he gets you, he'll take your abilities away, eventually making you very heavy, which is kinda hard to dodge. He'll take your charge shot, then your dash, and finally he'll make you very heavy. After you beat him, you get your abilities back. Nice try, asshole. Mega Man X5's Mavericks range from fairly easy to middle of the road. Some of them have attacks that are kinda hard to avoid, while others have attacks that are very easy to avoid. One of X5's harder Mavericks is Axel the Red. Axel the Red will jump around the room and throw 2 spiky balls at you. The green one is very easy to dodge and will stay at the corner of the room until it disappears. The purple one will bounce around the room very quickly, which is hard to dodge. He'll also clone himself, and the clone will do whatever he does, which is kind of annoying. By the way, you can't destroy it with the X Buster. He'll also try to whip you with a vine, which is kinda hard to avoid. If he captures you, he'll drain your health. He'll also shoot 4 rose petals in the air that fall back down very quickly, which is very hard to dodge. Lastly, he'll clone himself and they'll jump to both sides of the room and they'll try to whip you with vines, which is very hard to dodge. Jesus Christ, I didn't know roses were this dangerous. From now on, I'm not going anywhere near red roses. Back to the Mavericks of X2. Out of all of X2's Mavericks, Crystal Snail is definitely the hardest. Crystal Snail will shoot 3 Crystal Hunters at you, which is very hard to dodge. If they hit you, you'll be frozen in place, which leaves you open to take damage. He'll also go inside his shell and spin around the room, which is fairly easy to dodge. Sometimes he'll spin in place for 5+ seconds. By the way, he can use his shell to block your shots, which is really annoying because it makes the fight drag on longer than it needs to. Lastly, when he's low on health, he'll slow down time, which makes you move extremely slow, which makes it harder to dodge his attacks. I wish I had the ability to slow down time because it'll make my school breaks last longer. Mega Man X8's Mavericks are either fairly easy or moderately hard. Out of all of X8's Mavericks, Avalanche Yeti is the hardest. Avalanche Yeti will shoot a barrage of icicles at you, which is kinda hard to dodge. By the way, you can destroy the icicles with the X Buster. After you take away a chunk of itself, he'll protect himself with a snowflake shield and dash around the room, which is very hard to avoid. He'll also try to ram you against the wall, which is hard to dodge. He'll also go underneath the snow and do an icy Shoryuken, which is kinda hard to dodge. Lastly, when he's low on health, he'll shoot large snowflakes in the air that fall very slowly, which is very easy to dodge. Who the hell taught this guy how to perform a Shoryuken? Honestly, Mega Man X4 was the hardest to pick a Maverick from. Mega Man X4's Mavericks range from extremely easy with simple attacks to middle of the road with attacks that aren't too hard to dodge. Out of all of X4's Mavericks, Storm Owl is definitely the hardest. Storm Owl will fly around the screen and he'll occasionally try to dive bomb you, which isn't very hard to dodge. He'll also shoot 3 feather shots at you, which is easy to dodge because you can destroy them with the X Buster. He'll also throw an orb of wind at you, which is hard to dodge. He'll occasionally shoot 4 orbs of wind at you that follow you, which is pretty hard to dodge because the other shots will stay on the screen until he fires the 4th one. After he fires the 4th shot, they all home in on you, which is very hard to dodge depending on your position. He'll also summon 3 tornadoes on the screen that appear wherever you're standing, which is kinda hard to avoid. Lastly, when he's low on health, he'll go to the center of the screen and he'll summon a swarm of double cyclones that move clockwise around the screen, which is very hard to dodge. No wonder why he's the commander of the winds. Back to the Mavericks of X5. Out of all of X5's Mavericks, Matt Rex is definitely the hardest. Matt Rex will do short jumps around the room, which is kinda hard to dodge depending on your position. He'll also shoot ground fire on the floor that shoots 2 fireballs at you, which is hard to dodge. He'll also jump to the wall and shoot 3 big fireballs at you, which is very hard to dodge because they move very quickly. He'll also launch himself towards you, which is hard to dodge. When he's low on health, he'll shoot a large wave of fire across the ground, which is very hard to dodge. Lastly, he'll dash across the room, leaving 5 large flames on the ground, which isn't too hard to dodge. When you kill him, his death sprite looks like a possessed doll. I can't be the only one who sees that, right? Mega Man X1's Mavericks are either very easy or extremely hard to fight damage output. One of X1's harder Mavericks is Spark Mandrill. Spark Manager will jump around the room and punch the ground to generate 2 balls of electricity that move around the walls, which is pretty easy to dodge. He'll also climb across the ceiling and drop down to wherever you're standing, which isn't very hard to dodge. However, the main reason he's this high on the list is because of the dash punch he does. He'll dash towards you and punch you, which is very hard to dodge, and it does a lot of damage. You can try to dash jump off the wall, but you can't jump over him, which means you're guaranteed to get hit by it. Oh, come on, I almost got him. All I gotta do is dodge that dash punch and he's dead. Just dash jump off the wall and god damn it. Mega Man X3's Mavericks are extremely hard, but that's mostly because of their high damage output. Some of them have very simple attacks, but just because you got hit once, I'll take away half your health bar. One of X3's harder Mavericks is Blast Hornet. Blast Hornet will fly around the room and shoot 5 hornets at you, which is hard to dodge. The hornets will stay on the wall /4 for a few seconds until they explode. Thankfully, you can destroy them with the X-Buster. He'll also try to sting you, which isn't very hard to dodge depending on your position. When he's low on health, he'll fight faster and he'll shoot a reticle at you. If it touches you, he'll send 3 hornets towards you, which is very hard to dodge. At this point, I think I'm better off calling an exterminator. Oh, fan-fucking-tastic. I got to talk about Mega Man X7 again. Mega Man X7's Mavericks range from easy and time-consuming to extremely hard and time-consuming. Out of all of X7's Mavericks, Snap Ant Eatar is definitely the hardest. Yes, you heard what I said, Snap Ant Eatar. Snap Ant Eatar will shoot 2 fan blades in the middle of the platform towards you, which is kinda hard to dodge. It'll also shoot out explosive ant bombs all over the platform, which is kinda hard to dodge. By the way, the ant bombs will explode if you shoot them or get near them. He'll also fire secret missiles at you, which is very hard to dodge. However, the reason he's this high on the list is because of one attack, the fucking laser cannons. When his health bar is halfway gone, he'll summon 6 laser cannons to shoot the ant bombs. By the way, they'll also follow you wherever you go, and they'll be shooting at you almost all the damn time, which is next to fucking impossible to dodge. What makes this fight even better is that he can shoot you through the platform, but you can't. How the hell is that fair? Back to the Mavericks of X3. Out of all of X3's Mavericks, Volt Catfish is without a doubt the hardest Maverick in the game. Volt Catfish will jump around the room and punch the ground to generate 1 ball of electricity that moves up the wall, which isn't very hard to dodge depending on your position. He'll also shoot 3 spiky balls at the wall, which isn't very hard to dodge. Afterwards, he'll shoot 3 balls of electricity at them and he'll try to suck you up, which is hard to dodge. Lastly, when he's low on health, he'll go to the center of the room, electrify himself, and shoot a barrage of electric balls towards both sides of the room, which is next to fucking impossible to dodge because they move very quickly. After a while, I'll try to ram you against the wall, which is kinda hard to avoid, but once you finally beat him, it feels great. Yeah, you can burn in hell, you damn catfish. Back to the Mavericks of X1. Out of all of X1's Mavericks, Armored Armadillo is without a doubt the hardest Maverick in the game. Armored Armadillo will curl up in a ball and bounce around the room very quickly, which isn't very hard to dodge. Once he's done bouncing around, he'll get out of his shell and he'll shoot a projectile towards you, which isn't very hard to dodge. However, he'll shoot another one immediately after the last one. Lastly, he'll use his shields to block your shots. If you shoot a charge shot at him, he'll absorb it and deflect it back towards you in 8 directions, which is very hard to dodge and it does a lot of damage. On top of that, your charge shots only do 1 peck of damage to him. You know you're only kicking my ass just because you have the ability to absorb and deflect my shots back towards me, right? Why don't you fight me like a real Reploid? Alright, fine, I'll fight you like a real Reploid. 5 minutes later. Alright, never mind, I take it back. You can put the shields back on. Mega Man X6's Mavericks are extremely easy with simple attacks that take next to no effort to dodge. Some of them do a lot of damage like shield shell them, but they're still easy. Out of all of X6's Mavericks, Infinity Magenia is definitely the hardest Maverick in the game and in the series. Infinity Magenia will shoot a ray arrow at you, which is very easy to dodge. If you hit him hard enough, he'll go flying towards the wall and a clone will pop up. The clones will shoot 4 green bubbles that follow you, which is very hard to dodge because you can't destroy them and they don't give you a lot of room to dodge them. They'll also go to the center of the room and shoot 2 projectiles on the ground and shoot 8 ray arrows that cover the entire room. Both of which are very hard to dodge while I have his clones shooting green bubbles all over the place. Speaking of which, the main reason why his fight is so hard is because if you don't take care of the clones the nanosecond they show up on screen, they don't just keep coming and eventually they'll cover the entire screen. Lastly, he'll shoot orange projectiles in 8 directions, which is very hard to dodge. He's easily the hardest Maverick in the series, but that's just because he shoots shit all over the screen. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Anyways, peace out.